It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, Cody Johnson, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Well, good evening and welcome to our Friday edition of NCW Life News. I'm Steve Hare. Stories we're following for you tonight. Officials have ID'd the two bodies found near Lake Wenatchee. Also, a Bridgeport man is sentenced to 41 months in prison after pleading guilty to vehicular homicide. Also in the news, recycling drop-off in Manson comes to a halt. Later on, we have sports with Eric Granstrom and your weather forecast with Dan Kuntz. But first, our top story, continuing coverage of this tragedy that occurred, the mystery continuing, and the deaths of a Texas couple whose bodies were found 2 weeks ago in a pickup truck near Lake Wenatchee. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris released the names of 34-year-old Roger Marburger and his wife, 22-year-old Sarah Pischke, after confirming their identifications from dental records and fingerprints. Family members in Texas told authorities they had no explanation for why the couple was in Washington state. Officials say their pickup was found parked along Chewacum Creek Road, and the bodies were found in the front driver's and passenger seats, and that it appeared that someone tried to hide the truck with a blanket, duct tape, and some nearby brush. Well, the autopsies were inconclusive, but Harris said there were no signs of foul play. He's waiting for the results of blood tests from the state crime lab for a cause of death. Meanwhile, family members also put out a call for help in locating the couple's two dogs that apparently got loose. Pischke's family has also set up a GoFundMe account with her daughter to help pay for her funeral expenses. Also today, a Chelan County Superior Court judge sentenced a Bridgeport man to 41 months in prison after he pleaded guilty to vehicular homicide charges in connection with the death of a Brewster teacher. Actually, he pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter charges, which were downgraded from the homicide charges that were originally filed. Judge Leslie Allen handed down the sentence for 22-year-old Giovanni Lopez Maciel Thursday. The Bridgeport man struck and killed 50-year-old Gary Lee Knowlton as the man was riding a bicycle on Apple Acres Road near Chelan. Maciel fled the scene and took Knowlton's bicycle without giving aid to the victim. He surrendered to police about 2 weeks after the incident. Now, during Thursday's sentencing, Maciel apologized to Knowlton's family, and Knowlton was a popular elementary school teacher in Brewster, where he was also raised. Well, beginning June 30th, the recycling drop-off site in Manson will be permanently closed. City of Chelan, which was servicing the bins under an agreement with Chelan County, said the program is no longer financially sustainable. The collection bins have become a draw for illegal dumping, they say. As a result, the program has incurred additional costs associated with sorting the bins because people were contaminating recyclables with garbage. In addition, prices paid for recyclable commodities have dropped significantly. Maintaining and servicing the collection bins is costing the city about $35,000 a year. That, according to Chelan County Public Works Solid Waste Department. Zippy Disposal Services, a local business that provides waste disposal services, currently working on a curbside recycling program for both Manson area commercial and residential customers for next year. Be on the lookout. We've got some road crews taking part in some projects next week, so motorists should be aware of this. Chelan County Public Works reminds residents that work begins Monday on the Chihuahua Loop Phase 3 road construction project. Motorists can expect to see minor traffic delays next week. Crews will be installing construction traffic control signs along the project area. The 5-month-long project includes reconstructing the roadway from Wending Lane to Sumac Lane. In addition to a new roadway base and surfacing, project will also widen the road from 22 to 30 feet. It'll improve drainage and roadway geometrics and install guardrail. Motorists can also expect traffic delays on a portion of Stemilt Hill Road next week. Public Works crews will be doing a 4-day road repair project on Stemilt Hill from milepost 3.52 to milepost 3.54. And begins Monday morning. Crews and flagging operations will be working from 7 in the morning to 4:30 p.m. The project includes the digging out and reconstruction of the section of road. It also will be repaved. Motorists can expect one-lane, flagger-controlled traffic in the work area. People should plan for up to 20-minute delays at times. Motorists are also encouraged to use alternate routes to avoid the work area. Coming up, the Community Foundation of North Central Washington awards over $82,000 in grants to schools across the valley. John Magnus is named Regional Teacher of the Year. I'm Steve Hare. You're watching NCW Life News.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
And welcome back to NCW Life News. The Community Foundation of North Central Washington has awarded over $82,000 in grants to schools across North Central Washington through its Stronger Schools grant program. Now, Stronger Schools is a competitive grant that supports enriched student experiences and teacher development opportunities in K-12 public schools in Chelan, Douglas, and Okanogan counties. Schools can apply for up to $5,000 for programs, and school districts are also eligible for up to $5,000 to support district-wide needs or initiatives. School districts receiving grants this year include Bridgeport, Brewster, Cascade, the Methow Valley, Palisades, Waterville, and Wenatchee. Also, more recognition for local teachers. John Magnus has been named the North Central ESD Regional Teacher of the Year for this year. As the regional winner, he'll be in the running for Washington State Teacher of the Year. That's an honor that will be announced in September 2017. John is a French instructor at Wenatchee High School, a position he's held since the year 2000. He's founded the Interact Club, a youth version of Rotary Club. Now, the club's accomplishments are impressive, including raising $5,000 for the computer needs of non-sighted WHS students, raising $5,000 for a Heifer International Arkansas, raising $10,000 to bring a suicide prevention program to Wenatchee, also involved in raising $22,000 to build a women's clinic in Guyana, Mali. They have currently raised $37,000 of $50,000 goal to fund a local Habitat for Humanity home that they will eventually help build here locally. Also, a reminder that you can join us tonight for our live broadcast of the 2017 commencement exercises for Wenatchee and Eastmont High Schools. We'll be broadcasting the Eastmont ceremony from the Town Toyota Center starting at 6 p.m. It'll be followed directly after that by the Wenatchee High School ceremony from the Apple Bowl at 8 p.m. And again, you're watching NCW Live News. I'm Steve Hare. Coming up next, Eric Grandstrom with North Central Washington Sports and our feature today on God's Closet, a donation drive for youth clothing. This is NCW Live News.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy finally Friday. The Wenatchee Apple Sox open the 2017 Summer Collegiate Baseball season on the road in Walla Walla tonight after a 19-35 season a year ago. Sox have a new manager at the helm. Kyle Crustangel makes his debut, hoping for a better start than last year at 0-7. Game time tonight at 7:05. You can hear it live throughout North Central Washington on Sunny FM and in Moses Lake at KBSN. Mariners cost the game in the loss yesterday to Colorado. Not only did their 4-game winning streak come to a halt, they also lost Nelson Cruz and Gene Segura with injuries. Kind of wait-and-see mode there. 6-3 the final. Tampa Bay in town for the first of 3 games coming up tonight. Also, the American League West yesterday, it was Cleveland blanking Oakland, and Minnesota doubled up on the Angels. How about that Washington women's softball team? They get a victory over Oregon 3-1. They advance in the winners bracket. They're taking on Oklahoma. You can watch that on ESPN tonight. Also this weekend, the Rams are on the road trying to get their first win of the season in South Sound to take on the Nighthawks. That's happening in Sumner. And this weekend, we have a few interesting events. Apple Capital Swim Meet happening at the Wenatchee City Outdoor Pool. 500 plus swimmers here for that. The Apple Century Bike Ride starts tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock at Pybus, and Bring Down the Hammer softball happening at Walla Walla Point Park. With sports, I'm Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life channel. Steve, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. Well, our feature report today in partnership with the Valley View Seventh-day Adventist Church in East Wenatchee. The God's Closet Children's Clothing Drive is kicking off its first of many collection events this summer. They're offering free children's clothing to parents throughout the valley. NCW Life's Dan Coots sat down with co-organizer Shauna Larson to learn more on today's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley program.
Seventh-day Church is sponsoring a children's clothing drive, and here to talk about it is Shauna Larson, who's kind of the coordinator of all this. Is that your title? Do you have a title?
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called.
Okay.
Public relations.
Okay, it's pretty basic. Kids need clothes, and you're kind of the spearhead, the figurehead. You're coordinating everything. We want people to bring you children's clothes, and then you're going to sort them all out by size and all that, and sex, and then the kids who need them can come pick them up, right?
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
Yep.
What brought about the need? How did you decide this is something that the church and you want to get involved with?
Well, it's obviously children always need clothing. They outgrow them quickly. So there's a lot of families out there that, have a hard time affording children's clothing.
Especially since, as you mentioned, you have to buy new clothes all the time.
Right. So this gives them an opportunity to come and get free clothing. And we do it once every 3 to 4 months.
Okay. So there's that kind of a demand. You would think, once a year, there's a bunch of clothes, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
But if you do it once in 3 or 4 months, that means that there's a demand for it.
Yes.
So.
In other areas, there's other chapters throughout the state of Washington, and other states have taken on chapters and have done really well.
Is this something that do you have a personal thing with this? Why are you personally involved in this particular children's clothing drive?
Well, I've always had an interest in children's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a store here in Wenatchee.
Oh, okay.
A used children's clothing store. Got too much work. There was too many clothes to try to keep up on. So, I did come in contact with a lot of needy families that needed help. And so I felt when I was approached by Burlcom, I felt that this was something that we could do and help our community, help the children in our community.
Do you like it? You like doing this?
Love it.
Yeah. But as you mentioned, you're working really long, hard hours to make this whole thing happen. So.
It is, but we have a lot of great volunteers that are helping. Super support so far. Our first giveaway is going to be in August, so we'll see how that goes.
So right now you're in the process of getting the clothes, right?
Right, we're in the process of collecting.
So how do people get involved with that? Say, hey, Shauna, I got a closet full of clothes. The kids are all moved. I never threw them away.
Yeah.
Here are my clothes. How do they do that?
I'll come and pick it up. On our flyer there is my phone number.
And we'll put that up on the screen.
Yep, and I can personally come pick it up. If they'd like to drop it off, they can drop it off at the church. They can call and ask other places. We're also going to have a clothing drive on June 11th.
At the local tel parking lot on Graham
At the local tel
Road.
parking lot, yeah.
So you guys will be set up there with big boxes and people can just drop them by.
We sure will, yep. We're hoping to get a trailer full.
Well, my guess is you will. And then you all have to get in there and sort it all out,
And
right?
then we've got to get in and sort it out, possibly wash, mending, whatever needs to be done. Yes.
What if you say, I don't have any children's clothing, but I want to help. Here's a check or something like that, and so you can go out and get some. Is that something that people can do?
Sure, they can do that also. There's always, little things that we need to buy. Our community has been really helpful. Several of the fruit companies have already donated boxes for storage of the clothing, which has been really nice, but there's always other things that we need to purchase, and so we're hoping also in this chapter is to have a children's area where moms can, when they bring their little children, they'll have an area where they can do some crafts, have a little snack, so that moms can shop and not have to worry about their kids running around or crying or whatever. So that's
Well, if they're running around and crying, it's just like another day here at the NCW Life channel.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we do here. Is there a specific item of clothing that you always seem to have a need for, say socks or underwear or something like that?
Or is it a little bit of everything?
It's really, so far, I mean, remember, this is new. This is going to be our first giveaway in August. So far on the clothing that we've received so far, it actually looks like a lot of the smaller stuff, you know, 0 to 3, baby, infant, and we take clear up to teens. It's really, it's all, we need everything. Mm-hmm. We're just getting started, and we need all seasons. Of course, this giveaway will be a school giveaway, so, you know,
in August, just in time for heading back to school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people can get a hold of you, and again, we're going to put your phone number up on the screen. The actual organized drive will be on Sunday, June 11th at the Local Tel parking lot on Grant Road. It's all a part of the Valley View Seventh-day Adventist Church. If you want to volunteer, say, I'll help you sort clothes or something like that, they can call you as well?
Sure.
Yep. And you'll actually go to their houses and pick it up. It's very nice of you.
Yep, no problem.
Cool.
And we have several ladies that'll do that also, that are willing to do that. I mean, we want to make it as easy as possible, and we also want to get the clothing so we can get it out and share it with someone else.
And that reminds me, if you have time, can you come back as we get closer and closer to the actual giveaway in August and give us an update? Can you do that?
Sure.
Cool. All right.
Yes.
Thanks for coming by and joining us. We
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Thank
And
you.
best of luck. Let us know how it's going.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, let's tape it.
Again, that's Dan Koontz with one of the organizers of the God's Closet clothing drive for children. And again, we have so many great organizations, and you can add the East Wenatchee Seventh-day Adventist Church to that long list of great organizations helping the less fortunate in our valley. Hey, we'll be right back in just a moment with a recap of today's top stories, also your weather forecast for north central Washington.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
We're back on NCW Life News and recapping our top stories for a Friday afternoon. The mystery continuing, the deaths of a Texas couple whose bodies were found 2 weeks ago in a pickup truck near Lake Wenatchee. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris released the names of 34-year-old Roger Marburger and his wife, 22-year-old Sarah Pischke, after confirming their identifications from dental records and fingerprints. The couple hailed from Humboldt, Texas. Family members there told authorities they had no explanation for why the couple was in Washington state. Officials say the pickup was found parked along Chewacum Creek Road. The bodies were found in the driver's and passenger seats, and that it appeared someone had tried to hide the truck with a blanket, duct tape, and some nearby brush. The autopsies thus far are inconclusive, but Harris said there were no signs of foul play. He's waiting for the results of blood tests from the state crime lab for a cause of death. Meanwhile, family members also put out a call for help in locating the couple's 2 dogs that apparently got loose. Pischke's family has also started a GoFundMe account to help pay for funeral expenses. A Chelan County Superior Court judge sentenced a Bridgeport man to 41 months in prison after he pleaded guilty to vehicular manslaughter charges in connection with the death of a Brewster teacher. Judge Leslie Allen handed down the sentence for 22-year-old Giovanni Lopez Maciel Thursday. The Bridgeport man struck and killed 50-year-old Gary Lee Knowlton as he was riding a bicycle on Apple Acres Road near Chelan. Maciel fled the scene and actually took Knowlton's bicycle without giving aid to the victim. He surrendered later to police. The Thursday's sentencing, Maciel apologized to Knowlton's family members. He was a popular elementary school teacher in Brewster, where he was also raised. Well, beginning June 30th, the recycling drop-off site in Manson will be permanently closed. The city of Chelan, which was servicing the bins under an agreement with Chelan County, said the program is no longer financially sustainable. The collection bins have become a draw for illegal dumping, apparently. As a result, the program has incurred additional costs associated with sorting the bins because people were contaminating recyclables with garbage. In addition, prices paid for recyclable commodities have dropped significantly. Maintaining and servicing the recycling collection bins is costing about $35,000 a year, according to Chelan County Public Works Solid Waste Department. Meanwhile, Zippy Disposal Services, a local business that provides waste disposal service, is currently working on a curbside recycling program for both Manson area, commercial, and residential customers for next year. Well, some road work coming up that you should be aware of next week. Chelan County Public Works reminding residents that work begins Monday on the Chihuahua Loop Phase 3 road reconstruction project in the Chumstick area. Motorists can expect to see minor traffic delays next week. Crews will be installing construction traffic control signs along the project area. It's a 5-month-long project. It includes reconstructing the roadway from Wending Lane to Sumac Lane. In addition to a new roadway base and surfacing, project will also widen that roadway, improve drainage, and roadway geometrics. They'll also install some new guardrail. Motorists should also expect traffic delays on a portion of Stemilt Hill Road next week. Chelan County Public Works will be doing a 4-day road repair project on Stemilt Hill Road from milepost 3.52 to milepost 3.54, and that begins Monday. Crews and flagging operations will be working from 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. daily. Now, the project includes the digging out and reconstruction of the section of road. It also will be repaved. Motorists can expect 1-lane, flagger-controlled traffic in that work area against Stemilt Hill Road. People should plan for up to 20-minute delays at times. Now, motorists are also encouraged to use alternative routes to avoid that work area. Turning now to Dan Coates. He has our weather forecast for north central Washington for the weekend.
We are under the influence of a high-pressure ridge, not a particularly strong one, but it's good enough to have a nice, pleasant Friday night, good-looking Saturday, and a good-looking Sunday, for that matter, with temperatures just about normal. Clear tonight. We're going to get down to 55 for the overnight low. Very little wind to speak of this evening. And here's your weekend. Saturday, partly sunny skies and a high of about 81 degrees. We'll have lots of sunshine most of the day on Saturday until late Saturday afternoon into the early evening hours, and that's when the clouds will begin to thicken up. And that means mostly cloudy skies on Saturday night as the high-pressure ridge begins to move out. 55 for the overnight low. Sunday, we wrap up the weekend under partly sunny skies, just like Saturday, only it's going to be a little bit cooler. 75 for the high on Sunday, just a little bit of a light breeze. Back to work on Monday, we start the warming up period as another ridge of high pressure shows up. 78 on Monday, 82 on Tuesday, upper 80s to near 90 on Wednesday as we get deeper and deeper into June. And that's your weather forecast on the NCW Life channel.
Well, thanks, Dan. Normally at this time we'd share with you our video of the day, but it's kind of a special day today, folks. It happens to be National Donut Day. And who better to appreciate the significance of the occasion than a local law enforcement official? We're not joking. Police officers have long worked odd hours, but the options for food in the wee hours of the day have not always been plentiful before the drive-thru. The option to pick up a donut dates back to the years after World War II. Now, Wenatchee Police Chief Steve Crown acknowledges the long-standing stereotype of donut-loving cops, and he shared his thoughts with NCW Life News.
Kind of a outdated stereotype. I think nowadays you see a lot more police officers in line at Starbucks or their other favorite coffee joint, and it's kind of fun. We always make fun of each other when somebody shows up to a meeting and brings donuts, but it's just a laugh.
Chief Crown said he prefers apple fritters over donuts, and Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl says his favorite is a glazed donut.
I think it would be a good time to go to some of our local merchants and try their donuts. I think it would be a good way to show support for our community.
National Donut Day actually started back in 1938 as a fundraiser for Chicago's Salvation Army. It's held on the first Monday of every June. Well, that's going to do it for our program for today. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can find it on Facebook or on our website at ncwlife.com. And please remember, if you see news happening, we'd like you to share it with us. You can do it by email at news@ncwlife.com, or you can send us your news tips to the phone line at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Steve Hare. Go out and have a great weekend.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life Channel on Twitter.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.